All right. Hi guys, welcome. This will be our second studio vlog. Thank you for joining. And today I want to talk a bit about album production techniques, and how you approach the whole thing, and also a little bit about clients and client relationships, because that is something that you rarely hear about. Really, you hear a lot about how to EQ the kick drum, how to compress whatever, do you need to compress whatever, bass compression, New York style bass compression, all these very technical things, which are also very important for our job, of course, if you're working in audio production. But one thing that is maybe even more important is your relationship with your clients. How do you like each other? How do you treat each other? Some things that are like just important to set the mood for a session, and just to let the band feel at home when they come in the studio. For example, we like to do get a lot of drinks, so soft drinks and like a case of beer or something, so the band can just grab whatever they want and don't have to worry about bringing their own water bottle. You know, that's something that, or we also like buy some stuff from the bakery, so you can have a snack and maybe some fruit and stuff. And sure, it costs a couple of bucks for us, but it's just something that really makes you feel welcome, I think. And that's just like a nice gesture, you know. Oh, don't worry, we have you covered. Just grab something if you're hungry, and grab yourself something to drink, have a coffee, whatever. It's just good to set the mood, to make someone feel at home. And that's really what you want. Not only because you work better together, but in the end it will also sound better. Because if everyone is relaxed and just feels comfortable in being here and playing there, especially if you've never been to the studio before and don't know the guys at all, I think that really helps. And that's something that is a lot of times underestimated, you know. And that's also the main reason for why you try to make your studio look as good as it can. You know, it should be, of course, first and foremost functional. That was a nice alliteration, wasn't it? But it should also look good, because if you got the perfect sounding room, but it's like in a damp basement type of situation, you're not gonna feel comfortable, and you're not gonna get the best out of the musicians. That way. So yeah, I think that is really important, and that's for the whole client relationship, I think. So also how you write to them, if they got a question, or the whole correspondence. If you're like, yeah, well, I'll send it to you and that's it. I don't really like to do that. I like to be not overly formal, but like, hey, what's up? How are you doing? Here is the newest version of the mix from blah blah blah. Have a great weekend, and then cheers, Mo, or something like that. So just to, you look more professional if you write like that, I think. If you just like you write your friends via WhatsApp or something, it really shouldn't be like that. Especially in the beginning, if you really don't know the guys, if you work with them a couple of times and you got to know each other, it becomes a different thing, of course. But I think that is just important, and also that you don't keep them waiting for too long. You know, keep your deadlines. If you know you can't keep your deadlines, tell them. You know, of course it can happen, especially in audio production. Mixing takes longer than you expected. Just write them an email. Hey, it's gonna take a little bit longer. We had these and these problems, or whatever, or I got sick, or whatever you want to write. Yeah, but just tell them. Don't leave them in the dark, and don't keep them hanging there. Because in the end, it's their art, and it's extremely important for them. And it's a big thing of trust for them to come to you, especially, and let you be the one that helps create this album for them. Yeah, and I think one should really respect that. And yeah, Okay, enough for the client relationship things. That's something that you gotta figure out for yourself anyway and experience for yourself. Another thing I want to talk about is album production in general. How do you approach producing a whole album or a longer EP, whatever you want, with a band? For me, it's a similar process most of the time. You get to know the band, however they want to contact you, or maybe a friend of yours told them, hey, this guy has a recording studio, go talk to them, or you've played a show with them, or you see a gig with them playing and just approach them and ask like, hey, got a studio, you want to come by, check it out, maybe you would be interested in recording with us for your next album or the next EP. So the first thing that I would do is listen to the music that they play, talk to the guys, and listen to what they want to record the next time. Because sometimes the older album that you've been listening to maybe has nothing to do with the new stuff at all. So go listen to the band playing live if you can, or at least talk to the guys and maybe get some some audio files that they recorded with their phones or something like that, to just have something that is actually really on the album and not something that they wrote 2 years ago or 3 years ago. Then I would really talk to the band and ask them, what are some albums that you like? What are some albums that you like the sound of, especially, and that can be completely different. It doesn't especially have to be in the same genre. It can be something different too. It's just something that you get to understand what each band member likes and what they like about that music, and how you can maybe implement some characteristics of these songs or albums into your work then. So that you just are on the same level and understand what the client wants and what the band wants. And then maybe also tell them what you think of their music and where you would like it to go, sound-wise. Talk with them. That's very, very important. Just don't do whatever you want. Then you bring them in. We usually do like a day of setup for guitars and drums. Sometimes maybe a little longer. Depends on the project, really. Then we always start with drums usually, which again takes about a day. We like to really try and find the best drum sound that we can. We also move the drum set in the room to see where it sounds best for their application, or for that is the application that we're trying to do. Well, I don't know. So try it out, make them as good as you can. Really try that out, because the drums are, in my opinion, way more important than a lot of people think. Then next is bass, for me at least. So we have drums and bass as a foundation to listen to, and then you add the guitars. And again, I really like to try out different things for bass and guitars too, different sounds, some layering of sounds later on. But first, try to get a sound that you would be happy with recording just like it is. So if everything else fails, you would be happy with what you did there. And then you talk about layering another guitar amps, putting some in the center, overdubbing some guitars, solos, etc. So that's kind of the thing. When it comes to mixing afterwards, it's really important to understand what the guys or the girls want for the album. Do they want to tell a story? Do they really only want it to be a collection of songs they wrote? Are they more single focused? Is there one song that really has to stand out? And so you can try and keep the album moving in itself and not being just a static feeling, where you just listen to 1 hour of things that kind of sound like the same. So you just want to try and mix it up and make every song sound a little different. Not too different, but so you have some movement when you listen to the whole album. Yeah. Then you should really listen to it with the band. We had yesterday we had a band in where we just finished the mixing for their album, and we've been listening to it 2 times, or we've listened to it 2 times with them. Had some beers, had some laughs, was great as always with them. And yeah, so if you got the guys in the room with you, or the whole band in the room with you, they can directly say, hey, you know, that's something I would want to change. How about doing this and this a little bit differently? If you start with sending files, it's gonna take a lot longer, because you're gonna send files in, you're gonna get some feedback, you're gonna send another file, get some feedback. So it really takes some time. If you're together in the room, you can readily talk about everything and maybe even change it on the spot and see if they like it or not. So I think that is something that really makes the whole polishing a mix thing a lot easier. Yeah, and afterwards get it to mastering and get rich or die trying or something like that. Yeah. Okay, sorry for my long rambling. I hope you kind of enjoyed it, maybe. Who knows? If you did, please hit like and subscribe, and maybe even hit the notification bell. We would be grateful for that, so maybe some more people will see the vlogs and we can get like a conversation started in the comments. So please comment your thoughts. How do you approach recording an album? And how is your relationship with your clients? How do you approach that? I'd love to know. So, see you soon and goodbye.